Welcome to Career Spotlight. I'm Mary Powers with Career Connect Northwest, hosted at the Northwest Educational Service District 189 in Anacortes, Washington. And today on Career Spotlight, we are talking about women in STEM. We have with us our guest, Brenda Clifton, and she is a senior restoration botanist with the Skagit River System Cooperative. Hi, Brenda.
Hi.
It's so great to have you here today. We're so excited. Can you tell us a little bit about your job at the Skagit River System Cooperative and what it's like to be a botanist?
Sure. So at the Skagit River System Cooperative, as a senior restoration botanist, I'm in charge of all the vegetation aspects of our salmon habitat restoration projects. Let me tell you a little bit actually about the Skagit River System Cooperative. It's a tribal organization formed by the Swinomish and the Sauk-Suiattle tribes to help them manage natural resources.
Mm.
As part of my job, I develop all of the plans for a lot of planting trees along the rivers to create shade for the salmon. And then sometimes we move levees back and allow salmon to come back into the estuary. And in those projects, I do a lot of the surveying and developing the plans of how the vegetation is going to come in. I also secure funding for all of our planting projects, and I run a nursery with over 15,000 native plants that we install along the rivers and tributaries each year. It is a very fun career. My heart is full because I do something that I really care about every single day.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. And I actually have a picture of you out in the field. So I am going to share my screen so that we can take a peek at that. Give me just a minute. It takes me a second here. So right here, you can see the website for the Skagit River System Cooperative. So it's skagitcoop.org. But if I minimize this, I'm going to pull this down a little bit. Can you see that?
Yeah, so that is at our Utopia site, and that is along the Skagit River right outside of Cedar-Woolley. And that tree is about 15 years old. It's one of the first trees I planted when I started my job here.
Oh my gosh. So it was just a small tree, and now look at it.
Yeah, it was only like a foot tall when we put it in.
Oh my gosh. And I love seeing pictures of you out in the field doing your job because you're always so happy and smiling in these pictures.
Yeah, the fun part of my job is when I get to be out in the field. I am also at my computer a lot of the time.
Oh my gosh, that's good to know. So there's a variety of things that you get to do in an environment, different environments that you get to be in as part of your job.
Yeah, and when you start out in this career, you spend a lot more time outside in the field. And then as you mature in the career and take on more responsibilities, you transition naturally to being more in the office.
Okay, that's good to know too. And now let's talk a little bit about education. Because I have my screen already pulled up, I'm just going to kind of clip through a few of these. I found an environmental conservation bachelor's degree at Skagit Valley College. I found a fisheries and aquaculture sciences degree and certificates at Bellingham Technical College. And then at Whatcom Community College, I did find an environmental science transfer degree. So I know there's a lot of different educational programs out there that deal with environmental conservation, but can you tell me a little bit about education in these fields?
I think the higher you go in your education, the more responsibility you'll have. So, with an associate's degree, you would likely be a restoration technician, and that's just a lot of physical work out in the field. You plant the trees, you maintain them by weed whacking around them, you treat invasive species, and so you're outside pretty much all the time. With a bachelor's degree, you'll probably get more responsibility and for data collection and science. So, in addition to planting trees and taking care of trees, you might also do like monitoring surveys where you're collecting data and using it to help us grow better. Then, if you get a master's degree, you start being more of a project manager and managing the projects, coming up with the plans, coming up with the funding.
And that's what you have, right? You have a
Hmm.
master's degree.
I have a master's degree. I actually got my master's degree in Brazil, which
Mhm.
was a very fun experience.
Yeah, I bet that was. Um, is there any type of entry level job a person in high school or a recent high school graduate could get to just learn a little bit more about these types of careers?
I think either an internship or we do hire restoration technicians. And if someone has experience maybe on a farm or like working outside with hard work, there's a chance you could get a job as a natural resource technician, and it would be seasonal for the summer. And then if you went into the community college and got your AA, you'd be in that same position, but you'd start to have more responsibility. Just out of high school, you'd probably just be, mowing around trees all summer and spraying weeds. But after you got your associate's degree, you'd start doing more surveying and planting and other responsibilities.
Oh, yeah. Good to know. And then last of all, what advice would you give to a high school student who's interested in pursuing a career in botany or something similar in the sciences?
I kind of wish that I had gone to a community college and got a transfer degree. I went straight to UW to get my bachelor's degree because I really just didn't know better. But I could have saved myself a ton of money if I would have spent the first 2 years at a community college and probably learned the same things and then transferred to a 4-year degree. I also really highly recommend, if you're interested, going abroad or doing something outside and wild right after your first degree when you're still young and don't have any commitments.
Yeah, those experiences are invaluable. You
Hmm.
learn so much about the career and all kinds of other life skills as well when you travel and get to take those kinds of, I wouldn't say risks, but you get to do those types of things. There's so much learning involved in that.
Yeah. And I couldn't do something like that now.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets harder sometimes as you get older. So yeah, I would say, when you're right out of high school or doing during summer and all those types of times in life, it's time to seize the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being on Career Spotlight, Brenda.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.